What up, Corner Crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Hip Hop Happy Hour podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Baily. Got my co-host Shiloh Mental with me tonight.
Yeah.
How you doing, my brother?
Shit, man, I can't complain at all. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. And yeah, without further ado, I want to intro our guest. This is a pretty big one for us. We're pretty excited about this. He's coming straight out of Queens, New York. And legendary is a word that we can use because he is legendary. Native Tongues member of Black Sheep. We got Dres in the building tonight.
What up now? Peace. Salute.
Salute. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you.
Man, thanks for having me. It's all love.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you. So yeah, man, legendary. I gotta attach that word to your name. I have to, you know what I mean? Because we all grew up, but you've been in the game for a minute, 34 years it seems. I'm at my last count. So, but for the people that don't know, which should be no one watching, tell us who you are and what you're about.
Well, you got the Black Sheep Dres, and I go back a little bit in this game for a little something now. Definitely Native Tongue member. I would say a DITC affiliate, a Flavor Unit member. I got a few monikers at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably one of the most fortunate dudes in the entire game. I've had the opportunity to spend 30 some odd years as Dres in hip hop. Like, it's been the best. Right.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Now, man, I gotta say, man, it's crazy that you're still going at this time, man. You are one of the ones that are, I know you've touched on ageism before and things like that, and I'm a big proponent of fighting against that myself because it's like, to me, all the best rappers in the world right now, actually, none of them are under 30 years old.
All right.
As far as pen game, none of them. So
I definitely agree with that to the extent that I feel like like, don't get it twisted. We did a lot of amazing things in our 20s, but at this point, I'm kind of realizing that like after 30 is when you really got some shit to really say. You know what I'm saying? So, and it seems like at this point in the game, it's like almost like I don't want to hear from these cats until they're 30. You know what I'm saying? It's like the shit that they're saying is so whimsically the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a good illustration is that we all came from a place in time when you got props for sounding like no one, and these kids get a lot of props for sounding just like someone. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit different, but but I think the love is still there. The love is still very genuine. They just don't really understand what they love and why they love it.
Right. Absolutely. I think it's the culture aspect too. There's a lot of the culture aspect missing for a lot of the younger kids. I think that's the key to it, personally, from my point of view.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand the ramifications of what it took for them to even hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all good though. Like, we all get it when we get it though. You know what I'm saying? And we all get it at some point.
Yeah, it should click.
Yeah, eventually with time comes wisdom. We all know that. We're all grown men at this point. Well,
right.
We're old, but we're still boys at heart, I'm sure.
No doubt. I'm definitely the biggest kid, probably. On the East Coast, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big kid at heart.
Right. And like that's what keeps you going. Really, that's what keeps you going. Like, you have to have something that you love to keep you waking up every morning and striving to be the best. Mediocrity, that's one thing people are settling for today, and that's not a good thing
at all. I agree, man. For real. The bar is literally on the floor. Literally, you could walk over it. I don't think we can get under it. But then someone always proves me wrong and shit. I'm like, I don't think we can get under this shit. And here comes little somebody.
Nah, when you got people rhyming about their dirty underwear and stuff like that, it's like, how much lower can we go? You know what I mean? Like, what is there left? Like, there's nothing lower at this point.
You know what though? Like, I'm kind of the notion that that is we're just missing balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came from a day where we had whimsical, stupid, foolish songs too.
Absolutely.
I think that it was counted by some brilliance. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that gave us the opportunity to love the whimsical shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't, you know, I think we were pretty savvy to the degree that we weren't gonna allow ourselves to just grow up on bullshit. These cats are really cool with just growing up on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, we had the whimsical songs, but we had a KRS, we had a Poor Righteous Teacher, we had a Chuck D. We had all kinds of things that just might even just step in for a moment and add some levity to what we were hearing. You know, these kids don't really get the opportunity to hear someone balance some of the whimsical or even poisonous shit that they're being presented. And I think that's the big difference, is that there's nothing balanced and there's nothing diluting how concentrated the stupidity is. You know what I'm saying? And these kids are just growing up on concentrated stupidity to the degree that they feel like when someone's trying to correct them, that someone is attacking them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a whole big gap that, you know, that the culture would instill some understanding to. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, and you, I think you're hitting it right on the head. Is I think there's a lot of culture that's missing and definitely some balance.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And it's the balance thing is definitely like hits the nail on the head, because I can say when I was growing up, I mean, I would listen to Ice Cube and I would get like that perspective, and then I would listen to like, you know, I don't even know, like MC8 and stuff like that. So I was getting a lot of street stuff, but I was also listening to Tribe, you guys, you know, that ilk. So I was getting the balance. It was both there. And even in the negative, quote unquote, negative street stuff that I might hear from an MC8 or Ice Cube or like those ilk of artists, there was still a lot of knowledge in that too, where it was like, listen, these are stories and we're showing you the bad part and emphasizing that so you understand that there is a bad part, but they wouldn't do it in a way that it was like pandering to me or like just trying to push a bad message. It was more just presenting the reality of how things were, and then letting you view it and decide.
You. Or they didn't want you down with them. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, like where these cats are really taking it as an open invitation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it was almost like you couldn't get down with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're just telling you some shit. Yeah. And you're not hard enough to be down with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was almost that type of shit, you know, to which it was almost a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? Whereas these cats want you in line with them, you know, for either the cemetery or for addiction or, you know, for, you know, we're going to share this chick and, or whatever the fuck, you know, and I'm like, you know, like, damn, like this just, it's just done gotten to the place where everyone's just trying to out sensationalize each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I agree with everything that you're saying. Like, you know, like there was a space where, you know, like you could pick and choose and design yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you could pull from an NWA or, you know what I'm saying? Or shit, you could pull from bitches with attitude. You know what I'm saying? To a degree that there was something in there that you related to. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like it's so hard to relate to, you know, to your Bugatti today. And, you know, and I'm saying this as an artist, you know, like it's really hard to relate to where these cats are at with it. And, you know, like I'm looking at, you know, like, what was it, Drake that wrote that scathing shit to Joe Budden, you know, but by that parameter though, we're all failed rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like if that's the parameter, then, you know, like this shit, there's only about 3 people in that class. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're talking what? Jay, Drake, and I don't even know. Like,
yeah, right. Exactly. Like, you know, like it by, you know, like by those parameters, there's only a handful of niggas that would be successful. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, someone like myself, I consider myself a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been fortunate enough to be a journeyman, and like it's been a blessing, but I don't weigh success through the eyes of someone else. You know what I'm saying? You have to define. Like, I was having a conversation with someone literally today, and I was explaining to them, like, yo, you have to define success. You can't let someone else define success for you, you know, and in you defining success, that's where you're striving to be. That's where you're striving to get to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that way it's palatable to you. It's not about what someone else sees. It's about you setting a goal and you acquiring that goal. That's success. You know what I'm saying? And you keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing that. You keep setting goals. They don't have to be goals that are a million years down the road. They can be goals a month, and you acquire that, and you take your wins as you get them, and they'll become greater. But you don't look at someone else's success and look at that as your way defining you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, what if you fall short of their success? Does that mean you're not successful? Nah. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like in you defining your success, you know what I'm saying? Then there's no way that you fall short looking at someone else. You only right. You only fall short looking internally. And that's what we need in life. You know, we need to stop looking outside of ourselves so much and just set goals that are relatable to ourselves and achieve them. And then set another one, and then another one. And then that is the growth. You know what I'm saying? But we don't grow by someone else's measure. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll never even really understand where we are on that measure. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't even understand the measure. We're just looking at the results. You know what I'm saying? And we're not looking at what that person even had to go through to get there. Or even if they had to go through something. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like a lot of times it's for us to just kind of just internalize our struggle. You know what I'm saying? And in internalizing your struggle, you find like-minded strugglers. You know what I'm saying? And that's your tribe. You put together and y'all achieve something that's like-minded. You know, and that's just in my opinion. You know, like we've gotten to a place where everything has become so me, and everybody wants to put themselves first. There's no group think. Not to say that we should have a group thing, but there are times when we should. You know what I'm saying? There's times when it should be community, you know, and we should be moving as a league or a nation or, you know, just as a family. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we've really done broken it down to everything is just about me, what I feel in this moment, and I'm going to react out of that. And, you know, we're not advancing the culture to the degree culturally. Monetarily, we are killing it. You know what I'm saying? Monetarily, we're seeing more paper probably than any point in time in hip hop, you know, as a culture. But the culture itself is becoming something that we're really having to police and make sure that we don't lose the grip of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And because we've monetized ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten to the point where we're willing to do anything for a bag. You know, and not understanding that, you know, like, yo, on the real, like, that bag isn't definitive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, we're willing to trade everything for the bag, and, you know, only to get the bag and realize, oh, shit, like, this shit does not define who I am. How I got this shit doesn't even define who I am. And you know, we're seeing it play out in real time, too. A lot of cats are getting paper only to be discovered as shallow and not even worthy, and the things that they're doing with the paper don't even matter. You know, if you go to a strip club and throw 50, 40, $30,000 up in the air, like, really, is that really who we want to be in life? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not equating to a better life for ourselves or for our children, you know. But I think hip hop is only 50, and I look at it kind of like in dog years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's like we're 50, but we're not really 50. It's like, you know, like it's like almost like we're really 7. You know what I'm saying? Like times 7, 49. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still kids in this, whereas we still got a lot of growing to be able to start seeing how to pool our resources and start looking at each other and seeing family as opposed to opposition, as, you know, as far as just nurturing, you know, our community and our females, and making sure that as men that, you know what I'm saying, that we're standing on something, you know what I'm saying, and that, you know, like, and that money doesn't come between us to the degree that we're just willing to fucking throw everything out the fucking window for $1. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, but that's the growth that I think is coming forward in the culture. That's just us growing up. After you've spent money on a car, your watch, your chain, you've done strippers, and all right, cool. Now let's come back to reality. You know what I'm saying? Reality is that if 3 motherfuckers got $20,000 to throw in a strip club, that strip club night could have been a community center. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that strip club night could have been a fucking bodega, a supermarket. Like, you know, like it could have been introduction into real estate, whatever.
Anything.
There's a lot of things that, you know, a year down the road that cats is like, damn, you know, you'll see the athletes now. Damn, why did I do that? Damn, why did I throw that money in? You know, damn, that was blah blah blah. I couldn't even get this amount when I tried to sell the car or the jewelry. You know, so cats got to bump their head a little bit to understand. You know what I'm saying? But the youngsters got to listen, because these cats got stories to tell you that are really important. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to bump their heads the same way that we bumped our heads, the same way the next generation bumped their. Yo, we got something to tell you that's going to help you stand on our shoulder and take it somewhere where we couldn't even reach. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? We're here to keep this shit going. Right.
Facts. I want to bring it back to your early career, because I mean, Black Sheep, you guys hit the mainstream with a massive hit in A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, and The Choice Is Yours. That was a massive record. What was it like back then? Because hip hop was it was still such an underground niche thing that hadn't hit the mainstream yet.
Like, it was amazing to me. Like, you know, like I honestly feel like we're one of the groups that I think had a really important job. You know what I'm saying? And our important job was to bring the music to Middle America and into homes that weren't even checking for hip hop, that really didn't even know it existed. Might have heard it in passing and thought it might have been a fad. You know what I'm saying? We had this very important job that we were able to kind of get on a few national television shows really early, be it, you know, a Jay Leno, be it In Living Color, be it what's his face? Eddie Murphy's boy.
Arsenio,
right?
Yeah, Arsenio, yeah.
All of these shows,
you guys were everywhere.
Right, but these shows were really instrumental in bringing the music to Middle America. This is at a point in time when Middle America couldn't turn on the radio and hear hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't happening like that. It hadn't gotten everywhere yet. It might have been on the West, some places down South, but it wasn't everywhere. So we had this really important job of bringing songs, and I think a few of the groups of this time, you know, that were getting these slots, we had a real important job of making it palatable to cats that weren't of the culture. You know what I'm saying? To making them want to buy into the culture. You know what I'm saying? Them seeing hip hop for the first times, really, you know, like to a degree that it's being celebrated. You know what I'm saying? To a degree that, you know, like we're here, we're not going anywhere, and come join us. These aren't dangerous records we're making. We're making inclusive records. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, and we're having fun, and we're trying to show them that this is fun, you know, and this is a good time, and this is for every color, this is for every gender, this is, you know, this is culture. And I think Black Sheep was one of those groups that made it palatable to everyone. You know what I'm saying? And it, you know, I don't think we reap some of the benefits of that endeavor. At the same time, it was instrumental nonetheless. Some of us become the tapestry. You know, there's a lot of cats that laid their body down for us to have this bridge to walk over. You know, i.e. Just Ice, to Fearless 4, to the Treacherous 3, to, you know what I'm saying? There's all kind of cats that don't get mentioned. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about what we've become. But these cats that laid their bodies down for us to walk over, like, you know, without them laying it down, without a Tricky T, without a you know what I'm saying, T La Rock, you know what I'm saying, without Mantronics, without, you know what I'm saying, like, without some really important cats, we just fall straight through the hole. Really important cats that never really got their propers or papers. You know what I'm saying? That generations in front of behind me don't even know that these cats made these sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even know that how instrumental their bag is contingent to the tapestry. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a walk for them to get to the place. They're on the other side of the bridge, not recognizing the bridge. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like there's something to be said about that. Like, you know, that has to be corrected. Like, you know, like, and that speaks to the ageism as well. Like, you know, like cats have to have an understanding. Like when you're saying, you know, like you remind me of these old cats and this, that, and the other, like, yo, there was a sacrifice for you, almost parental. You know what I'm saying? And you saying something that's diminishing to these cats, you're damn near cursing your parents. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, wait, hold up a minute, man. Some of these motherfuckers didn't eat to feed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like these motherfuckers got on a train to go rock. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got on a bus to go to another city. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, yo, hold up, wait a minute. You know, I know your jet is fly and all of that, but there's a walk that was walked for you to acquire that. And you gotta respect. You know what I'm saying? And like the culture is gonna make you respect it at some point. You know what I'm saying? And much like life will humble you at some point. You know, it ain't gotta be the moment that you need the humbling, but at some point, life will definitely humble you. That's just the way it's structured. Huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's funny you mentioned that because I look to like the sports analogy for a lot of that. And what I see is like, I know if I was trying to be the best scoring guard ever in basketball, what would I do? I would study those who came before me and blaze that path.
Right.
And in hip hop, I do the same thing. Like when I first started getting into making music and stuff, I mean, I was already versed in it because I just always was that deep into it as a listener where I wanted to, like, you know, for instance, first record I ever heard album wise was probably, I don't even know, probably The Chronic. But listening to The Chronic made me go back and listen to NWA and go back to you guys and all that. And I just started like actually digging deep and learning where it all came from. And I feel as an MC, like I wouldn't be comfortable doing what I do if I didn't know what came before me. So that's a big divide I see there. And then I also see it like, I was speaking with somebody the other day and we were talking about how, I don't know if either of you saw, but Michael Irvin, the former Dallas Cowboy wide receiver, did an interview and he was on a show or something. And he was talking about his son who is a rapper. He's like a drill, like trap rapper or whatever.
Yeah,
he just aired him out and was like, you grew up in a gated community. Like, this isn't you. This isn't how you came up, this, that, and the third. And somebody in the comments was like, oh, but this is the business now. And I'm like, yo, but the business will get you killed. Like, you can't go around acting like you're something you're not in this culture because people will test you. It's just a fact. Because when you start blurring them street lines, like people in the streets don't play. So like, you know, I personally, I just see those responses and I just wonder like, what is the disconnect where these people can't see these obvious things and these problems for what they are? Because it is a problem. Because, you know, all this money, like you said, is going around. But at some point, there's going to be some accountability. And it seems like you were saying before, how these generations that came before, we try to teach and things. And I notice now what I see a lot happening again is bad contracts. I see a lot of that again now, simply because these people never did their homework.
Right. That, and you're hitting it right on the head. Cats are so thirsty for what they see. They'll sign anything you put in front of them, literally. Like, you know, you literally can, you know, like could probably have a clause at the end of it. If you don't commit suicide, none of this is valid. They'd sign it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you could write anything, you know what I'm saying, and put it in front of them and tell them, yeah, you know, and it seems like the thicker it is, the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're not going to read it. Like, you know, oh, I got a 52-page contract. Let me sign that. You know what I'm saying? And have no idea that they just gave everything away. They're just so thirsty to be fucking, not even noticed, to be fucking.
The attention.
Yeah, like it's crazy. You know, like what we do for attention, we used to do for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, to give it away just for you to notice them. And I think women are probably even more guilty of than MCs at this point. Like, like it's become this thing where it's just in our culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no shame to it. Like, there's no shame, which is another thing that's bothersome. Like, like if you've got money, I value your opinion. And I have no shame admitting that. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that mentality is crazy. I even spoke to a couple of my friends. It was at a time when, when I think Kanye was saying his, 100th ridiculous thing. And I was like, yo, like, like, do you respect Kanye as a person? I just asked a couple of friends. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, why? And both of their answers had to do with how much money he makes.
That's crazy.
Right. And these people that I considered my friends, let alone not someone that's a young stranger. These are people that are grown men like me. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, wow, like, like it almost hurt my feelings that my friends looked at, him at the time, being called a billionaire as being credible. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, there's such a divide in character and ledger. You know what I'm saying? And, like they don't speak to each other. You know what I'm saying? But I see if my friends respect somebody for paper, shit, I can only imagine, everybody else's friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, like, like I thought what he was saying was utterly ridiculous. And that no amount of money changed that. You know what I'm saying? But not the case. And we see it time and time again. Like, there's horrible people all around us that get a pass because they have money, and the really crazy thing is that, the person that probably warrants the opportunity for us to give them some favor might be broke, to which off with his head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, like, like we're really living in a really odd time in life, you know what I'm saying? Where no matter what you did, if, like if you've got the money, it will soften the blow, if not totally diminish the blow. You know what I'm saying? It's a really
it's a wild time. Time. I know you've acted. You've been in Who's the Man, which is a great movie. Anybody that knows
I wasn't in Who's the Man.
Huh?
I'm not in Who's the Man.
You weren't in Who's the Man? I thought
IMDb did you dirty.
Oh, I thought yeah, I thought they did.
But I like you know what? I've been offered a few opportunities to be in a few flicks, but I always turned them down because I always felt like I wanted. I've done a couple of things, but like kind of like talking about like the rap movies, you know what I'm saying? But I always kind of turned them down because I always felt like later in life I was gonna want to do some acting, and I didn't want to be the dude that's the rapper. I didn't want the dude that's the waiter. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to play that particular game where I'm making a cameo as, the doorman. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'd rather just stay away from it right now, and later at some point when I'm getting the when I get the opportunity to do a role, or to be a character of some sort, to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to kind of diminish the opportunity with, I was in it. You know what I'm saying? I tied the lead character sneakers in the second scene. Because that's what it really seemed like to me. It didn't seem like it was anything that was, like Dres, we want you to play a character, and he's, there's layers to him, and blah, 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 like it was none of that. So I kind of just fell back. But yeah, I've seen my name get credited a couple of times when I was like, I didn't do that. Like I'm in the remix of Scenario. That wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's
right. So I got a question for you then. I got a question. The internet might be lying to me, but I saw that you might have been in Words Up, a school break special on CBS.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
That was pretty dope. That was now see, and even to my, that was definitely me getting an education. But me and Long played it was an after school special, which of course is like, like you knew everyone was gonna see it.
Right. Your mother made you sit down for that.
and we're in it with Kadeem Hardison, TLC is in it, a few other people of the moment, and we play kind of like me and Long played kind of like these angels, if you would. Kadeem Hardison is a jock in high school. He finished high school as a jock, but being that he was a jock, never learned to read. You know what I'm saying? So he's having a hard time in life, but he still looks young enough where he can go back to high school, a different school, enlist. Of course, they see that he can play football, wanting to play football. So the dilemma is him, learning to read and, being exploited as a jock, And me and Long kind of are the comic relief as angels, like you'll see us in the scene, but no one else sees us. And we'd have little rhymes about what's going on in this scene, so to speak. And it was kind of a cool experience, but one of the takeaways from it was this for me. We had an opportunity to get an Emmy or to be in contention for an Emmy, be nominated. We had an opportunity to be nominated, but we had to fill out some paperwork for the Emmy people. Now, if you ever get a chance to see Words Up, I had a big problem with it. And my big problem was this. I thought we did a great job. My big problem was them syncing up the rhymes that we were saying to the beats that they were playing. The rhymes that we were saying, they had them off sync. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, I didn't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, that shit's off beat. It doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? And time again, some of them were right, but some of them were off. And so when they came back at me about getting an Emmy, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even filling that shit out. That shit is not Emmy worthy. You know what I'm saying? And that was just my opinion. Of course, I don't think the label appreciated it. I don't think anyone appreciated it, me deeming the work not worthy of an Emmy. But that's still how I feel. Like the shit just wasn't done correctly. You know what I'm saying? And if one of us listened to it, we're going to hear it right off the bat. It's almost going to bother us. But where hip hop was at the time, they thought the shit was dope and fresh and cutting edge. And I'm like, nah, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that simple. It's not. Like, the shit is off. What are you talking about? Like, I can hear you plainly. And I'm like, yeah, you're not even, hearing it.
Right,
how
you're dealing with them suits. Yeah.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying, to get nominated, because I'm like, this isn't reflective of our work. So I never filled it out. So we never got nominated. So like, that was probably one of a half a dozen things that made people kind of like not like me behind the scenes kind of shit, like, he's an asshole, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how I felt and still feel. Like I don't feel bad that I didn't fill it out. I do see now how the game is played. I didn't quite understand how the game was played at that point, that, like at some point the label probably would have came in, we filled out the paperwork, they would have gave a push to it, paid whoever the fuck they needed to pay and whatever. Like we was playing with some big boys. But it never got the chance to get that play because I just wasn't willing to step into the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this is bullshit. And it's not reflective of who we are as artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised that y'all are cool with it. And, but I would go on to see different cats do different bullshit and receive awards. And okay, that's the game. Okay, now I understand. Didn't understand then, still wouldn't have gave y'all permission, but would have demanded y'all did a better job,
Well, I mean, in that scenario too, it's like, what if that's the first time somebody hears you and they're like, yeah, they ain't even rhyming on beat.
Right. And like I said, like this is early 90s. I mean, like midnight, early 90s.
Like 92.
Yeah, 92, 93, somewhere in there. So the audience isn't really as savvy as we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As a whole. Just the fact that I'm rapping doesn't make it good. And they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's rapping, and much how some people dance off beat, I'm rapping off beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to be a reflection of good hip hop. And you can't ask me to sign off on some shit that should represent good hip hop when it's not. I'm cool with what we're saying, but like I'm saying it, but it's like I'm saying it off beat. All of it matters. You know what I'm saying? And that was just my stance, And there's been a few times when I've had to take a stance as far as just how I saw shit, you know, and that was one of them.
Sometimes you got to do it, man. You got to
Yeah.
stand on your morals.
Real talk.
Really, that's what you're doing. But you've been around, like you said, 3.5 decades now. You must have some crazy road stories. Give us one of your best memories on the road, and then follow that up with one of the worst.
Oh, okay.
Or flip flop, whatever you want.
Well, I would say probably one of my best road memories. I'm gonna take y'all to a time, my very first tour. Very first tour was Ice Cube and a Lynch Mob. They asked us to be on this tour, you know what I'm saying, for Steady Marvin. And we were the only East Coast group on it. Like we were kind of like the East Coast representative of the tour. It was us, of course, Ice Cube and the Lynch Mob, WC and the Mad Circle, which was Coolio, God bless, Dub C, and I was a crazy chains or something like that. You know, that was their group, and Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Yo would come out, and different places, different people would come out quick, what have you, you know what I'm saying? But definitely a very heavy West Coast presence on this tour. Now, it's an education for me because this is the first time I'm ever around any of these cats, you know, and I'm from New York, went to high school in Carolina, you know, but back to New York, and so I'm pretty much a New Yorker, but I'm a little well-versed in, you know, just having moved around a little bit. Now, the tour is going to start in Phoenix, in Arizona. The tour bus is in New York. So the tour bus has to get from New York to Phoenix for the first show. You know what I'm saying? It's our first tour. I got the opportunity to hop on a flight and meet the tour bus, you know, in Phoenix and start the tour. Or I can get on the tour bus a few days early before the tour and ride with the driver all the way to Phoenix. I opted, of course, I've never been on a tour bus at this point. It's my first tour. It's my bus. Get the fuck out of here. I opted to get on the bus, and I invited Showbiz to come out with us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so we got a few of our, you know, friends / roadies and shows out. You know what I'm saying? And we all get on this bus and we take this ride from New York to Phoenix for the first show. And so it was a couple of days drive, and I just will never forget that drive. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the most amazing drive across the country. And I'm with my friends, you know what I'm saying? And we're talking and we're just taking it in. And like, you know, like it's the first time any of us are ever doing anything of this magnitude. And just, you know, like me and Show became damn near best friends. Like that's one of my favorite people in the entire industry. I love Show. Me and Show went on to have a house together. And, you know, like that's always been my brother. And, you know, just to say, like, it was just one of the most beautiful moments in my life, whereas it was like me being in the wings about to step on a stage. You know what I'm saying? And it was just really exciting, just looking at the country from the perspective of of a window. And, you know, driving all the way to Phoenix and then making our way back to New York, doing show after show after show after show. You know what I'm saying? It was an amazing moment in time for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the first time I'm seeing a lot of these places. It was my first run. I'm learning a lot from the likes of Ice Cube and the Lynch Mob. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was bug because, you know, being that I'm from New York and being that we are East Coast cats, I remember thinking cats like Too Short and like Snoop. I was like, yeah, I know they don't say bitch like that for real. Only to find out they really did. You know what I'm saying? like, and it was acceptable. Like, I didn't even think that shit. I didn't think it was even possible for mothers to say bitch that much, and it was okay. Only for my first time in LA, for me to be on an escalator with a guy that's in front of me going up and a girl going down, for me to hear with my own ears, hey, what up, bitch? And she turned around, oh, hey. I was like, oh shit, the shit is real. The shit blew my mind because I couldn't imagine saying, hey, what's up, bitch? I couldn't imagine saying that shit in New York to no woman. Like it just doesn't play like that. And the hardest of the hard. He's just not, hey, what's up, bitch? That's not what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So to see that shit in actual real time kind of was like, oh wow. I think I'm at a place now where that shit wouldn't even begin to phase me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've become, like it's like Novocaine. I've become numb to it. But at the same time, at that point, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that was cool. Like, like we could just be like, hey, bitch, what's up, bitch? Like, wow. Like that, but now that shit is
now it's every day.
It's game.
It's everyday thing for the girls be calling each other all day long.
Yeah,
follow that up with your worst road story.
Like now there's Chinese niggas, there's Asian niggas, there's Hindu niggas, there's Iraqi niggas, there's white niggas, there's black. You know what I'm saying? Like I see everybody calling each other nigga. Like literally, like everyone. Like it'd be a group of fucking Iraqi. Nah, nigga, what you talking about? Like you know what I'm saying? Like Asian. Nah, that's my nigga. He's cool. Like like yo. Like and the shit is like wow, like the words that we've co-opted in life are just like wow, like it's
yeah, that one got a little too loose.
At one point, yeah, like at this point, like it's nothing almost. Like it's like don't get twisted. There's still the dangerous dynamics of a white person calling a black person a nigga. That will always be there. But I will say this: white person can call another white person a nigga all day. You know what I'm saying? And there's honestly, I don't know if that's wrong or right. Like to say that I understand the dynamic in which they're using it. You know what I'm saying? I like when if an Indian cat says or another Indian cat, damn, I love that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And this is my word. Maybe it's just that I'm in New York where I do hear all of these coaches saying this word. You know what I'm saying? And saying it as a term of endearment. I don't, because I see it how they're saying it. They're saying it as a term of endearment. So I don't get caught up in the semantics of the word. I look at them as how they're using it. You know what I'm saying? And I think the same thing would be the same situation if someone says it to me. It's all about context. If they're saying it like, yo, that's my nigga, I love that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I might not really care for the word. Maybe I might wish they was in the world. But honestly, I'm more grateful for where it comes from. If it comes from a place of love, like I'm okay with someone else using it in that context to a degree. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, there's so much pain affiliated with some of the things that we've experienced in life culturally that, that sometimes you have to stand up for the hurt it caused someone else. You know what I'm saying? And
wow, is it?
Yeah, and that's real. I think right now a lot of us, as especially African Americans, quote, like we have a responsibility. It's not that they owe me, but it's important that I speak for those that they do owe. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a context to this shit. There was slaves that if they spoke to their plight were killed. You know what I'm saying? And are dead because they spoke to their plight. And like we're the children of these people. There's something that's owed to them that we have to collect. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that to say in a means of by force or or I owe you hurt. No, not at all. There's an accountability. I feel like this: if you inherit wealth, then you can also inherit debt. You know what I'm saying? And there's a whole contingency of people and institutions that have been inheriting wealth time and time and time again as a result of what's owed. You know what I'm saying? And there's a debt, people be like, well, yeah, that wasn't me. Now we're living in now. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't me. But you've inherited a wealth and never acknowledged the debt. You know what I'm saying? And that's where our voices are very important right now. There's a debt that's owed to motherfuckers that was in the field, that worked and died penniless. Like that's why you owe. You know what I'm saying? More than anything. Like who's gonna speak for them? Or what about their family? And and that's my relation somewhere, and that we're so distorted as a people, we don't even know where we begin to be related and where we end in relation. But it's important that we speak to that because it gives an opportunity to level the playing field. And that's something that a lot of people just refuse to understand. It's not a level playing field. If this is a rat race and you get a fucking year's head start, how can you blame me for coming in last? You know what I'm saying? And that's to the degree it is. Like we got to level the playing field, whereas there's so many entities that have reaped the benefits of free labor that it's a distant memory that people have, that they honestly think that they earned that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that speak to what they've earned didn't earn the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it came on the back of something. And and people are now look down their nose at you behind some shit that your family garnered them. You know what I'm saying? And that has to be spoken to as well. And where the music at, there was a time when our music was stepping in a space that could amicably express that. That's not something that's should be threatening. That's not something that's trying to diminish or take away. When you pay a bill, you're still you, but you have to pay your bill. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's all. That's it. That ends it. That gives an opportunity, especially if it's not squandered, to be who you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think is important. Those are the things I think music should be speaking to. But we've gotten in a place where music is so far away from introducing those notions and those sensibilities, and even standing and sharing those things in a multicultural circle. You know what I'm saying? Like music is also something that's supposed to be able to, just relate, that you understand, just like you could understand an NWA or MC8 through the vision of the record, that you can understand some of this through the vision of the record, that, like there's academics that aren't available to our children as a result of this. There's things that are systemically happening to us generation after generation. And until we fix this, it's going to keep happening. And our music used to have that kind of ability because we were willing to explore all these notions and just be open to them. We've now gotten so far away from that I personally took it as a challenge. I have a film coming out November 21st. The film coming out on Paramount Plus, and it's called The Choice Is Yours. And it's kind of like a walk with a collectible. I'm not gonna say old cat. Kind of a collectible these days, and we're gonna skip real fast forward through all of the early stuff and kind of just pick up where I'm at these days. And you'll see me kind of bump into my Dukes, and meet her and her husband Tony, and get offered an opportunity to do something amazing with from the vaults of Dilla. And you'll also get an opportunity to see me run around the country, the world that much, and see, kind of how I rock it at this point and as an independent. And one of the things that's really becomes apparent in the film is that, that I'm by myself. So it has to be introduced, where's Mr. Long? And so you'll get a little bit of Mr. Long in the film, and I think it kind of ends in a space where you really are gonna get the opportunity to see possibly me and Mr. Long come together for 2024 and create a Black Sheep project. So it's a really, really cool film. Like I said, coming out November 21st on Paramount Plus, and you know how God is. He, just aligned it very organically to the 50th year when everybody's fucking paying attention. And I'm very grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? I think the film's going to get a good look. And honestly, like I'm in a space right now where that's really all I need. I just need you to listen one time, or I just need you to watch one time. And what I do takes care of itself from there. You know what I'm saying? I just needed the opportunity for you to hear me. So, you know, I'm very grateful for that because in conjunction with the film, there'll be some new music, you know, and I feel really good about this entire year. Some really, it's a new chapter in my life even. Right.
That's dope. That's
Dope.
dope. We're looking forward to that. Everyone, Paramount Plus, November 21st. Check it out. We're coming to the end of the Hip Hop Happy Hour. So, Shah, do you want to add anything before we end?
Yeah, well, I just want to ask him a quick question. You know, I'm a Boston guy, and I know you just put out an album recently with Stu Bangers. I was just curious to how that whole situation came about, how you guys came together. Project's dope. You killed it as always. And which I love to see because, like we were discussing it earlier, the whole ageism thing. But when I hear that, I don't hear age. If I close my eyes, like the voice don't really change.
Right.
So I think a lot of that is all perception, personally. But how did that whole album come about, and how'd you guys link up?
Yo, that was so cool. Like very organically, and big shout to Stu. I think Stu's fucking dope as fuck.
Animal.
Yeah, right. And his work ethic is fucking silly as Tupacian. Just to say, like I've been working on this D&D project, this Dylan Dres project, you know, for some time. And you know, Stu does this thing where, you know, he'll make a beat and he'll, you know, post it on IG and he'll be like, who do you hear under this beat? You know what I'm saying? And somebody had put me, you know, tagged me on it. And so, you know, when I get to the page, I play the beat and I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is hard. You know what I'm saying? And that introduced me to Stu, to which I started browsing his page. And I'm like, oh shit, this dude is silly nice with it. You know what I'm saying? Then I started seeing, you know, some of his fucking cats he's worked with. And I'm like, oh wow. So then I just started paying attention to him from there. And, you know, and the beat that Cats had put my name on, I was, you know, I think a compliment like, yeah, hell yeah, this works. So, you know, so that was kind of an introduction, you know, me and Stu started following each other. The more I'm following him, now I'm just kind of seeing him like really just be dope, to which I'm a fan of. But at the time, I'm knee deep in the project that I was working on. So, I'm not sure if it was him or me that reached out to the other. Might have been me, but I know that I was busy to the degree that I was like, yo, look, I'm trying to finish up a project right now, but I decided that I want to start doing a series of EPs, and I would love to do an EP with you. You know what I'm saying? Would you start sending me some beats? And when I finish what I'm doing, I'll go through them and pick out some stuff and rock to them. But I want to start the process of picking out a folder for myself. You know, I'll pick from whatever you send me. So we started sending me beats, and I'm like, oh shit, this shit is so fucking, you know, the shit he sent me is dope. And the project that you know, the film that's coming out, it had reached, there was a little snag in the project for a moment. And it gave me some downtime. And it also kind of upset me a little bit that there was a snag in it, and I had all of my eggs in this basket, I felt. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, oh shit, like if this shit doesn't happen right now or something fucks this project up, I'm literally banking a lot on this project. And it kind of upset me, whereas I was like, shit, I need to be working on an EP at all times with different producers. It introduced this new work ethic to me. Whereas Stu, I got a little bit of downtime. Let's jump knee deep into this while I'm waiting for them to hammer whatever the fuck they got to do. Let's jump into it. I jump into it. And ever since then, I've made it a notion that there'll always be reaching out to different producers to just get 5 tracks from to create an EP. I'm gonna do that for the rest of my career. But just to say, but Stu was kind of right there at that moment in time when I needed something else to do. So I started working on this EP, including the track that Cats had tagged me on is on the EP. It's the joint. Which one is You Are Now Seeing Sasquatch, Rolex Flow. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was the record that I was tagged on, and I'm just a little high, so pardon me. But just to say, you know, so, and then like once as the song started coming together, like we're seeing like, oh shit, this shit is hard. Like it really probably should have been a full length album, but I think we were both just so enamored with what it was, and that I still was in the middle of another project. That, you know, okay, cool. Well, you know, we got enough done to do something. And things are opening up back where I'm over here. I got to jump back over here. Let me finish this up. But that introduced me to a really dope ally and Stu. Stu's a dope cat. I really got a lot of love for him, and he's a good person as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just very talented cat. You know,
the final product was fire, so
yeah,
it worked out well.
And he had a lot of components around him, you know what I'm saying, that were dope add-ons, you know, some of the artistic endeavors. And you know what I'm saying, the first cat that did a video was his dude from Paris, you know what I'm saying, you know, and I pulled a couple of cats from there, and you know, like it was a very collaborative effort, and both of us were really selfless with it, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I think we both, you know, was just coming from a very, you know, pure place with it, you know, and it was just the love of not just doing something, but doing something dope. You know what I'm saying? Like we both were definitely having the understanding that this shit is what it should be. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that this is the end all, but you know, this is the type of shit that we like. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we felt good about it.
Right. So, my man, it's been a pleasure tonight. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell everybody where we can find you, all your socials, what you got coming up. Right now, let us know.
I'm having a few things built right now. I got a couple of really cool ideas that I'm about to implement to kind of go along with some of the stuff that's happening. But the closest place, the easiest place right now is simply IG, Black Sheep Dres on IG, and from there, you'll be able to kind of catch some of the things that I'm about to do. I got, you know, a couple of sites that are being built. I got some really cool stuff going on that I'm not going to stress at the moment, but some good announcements, some good music. And yeah, and a documentary November 21st on Paramount Plus that I'm really excited about.
Oh yeah, we'll be taking a look for that, keeping an eye out. Shout out to MJ Savino at MJ's Hip Hop Connects for linking us up.
Yeah.
She's dope. If anybody out there is watching needs a publicist, hit her up. And yeah, man, we're gonna have to do this again real soon. You know, after the new year, we'll link up again and get episode 2 going for sure. And we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done for the culture. And again, legendary. That's all I gotta say.
It's always a pleasure to sit down with some cats that know their shit. And love it just like I do, man. Thanks a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I wish y'all the best, you know what I'm saying, sincerely. And I look forward to the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Again, the Hip Hop Happy Hour for Charlotte Mental, for our guest, Dres. Me, peace out, y'all. We appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace.